All right, CA Foundation students, welcome. In the next few minutes, we are going to absolutely nail the general nature of partnership using the Indian Partnership Act of 1932 as our guide. This is all about getting you exam ready.
Here's our game plan for today. First, we'll lock down the core definition. Then, we'll break it into the 5 essential pieces. After that, we'll uncover the one true test that proves a partnership exists. Then we'll see how a partnership is different from other business types. And finally, we'll meet the different kinds of partners you absolutely have to know.
Okay, let's jump right in, starting with the official definition straight from Section 4 of the Act. This is the bedrock for everything else.
Now, this sentence you see here, you're going to want to commit this to memory, seriously. Think of it less like a dry definition and more like a formula. Every single part of it is a key ingredient we're about to unpack.
So, if that's the formula, what are the ingredients? It breaks down into 5 essential elements that all have to be present. If even one is missing, legally, it is not a partnership.
The best way to think about these 5 elements is as the pillars holding up the entire partnership structure. Let's take a look at each one. Here's your complete checklist. It all starts with an association of at least 2 people capped at 50. Then there must be an agreement. It has to be for a business, meaning some kind of trade or profession for gain. Fourth, there must be an agreement to share profits. And here's a classic exam tip. An agreement to share losses is not essential, but sharing profits is. And finally, number 5, mutual agency. This is the big one we're coming back to.
So, of all those 5 pillars, one is what we call the cardinal principle. It's the ultimate test, the one that truly separates a partnership from any other kind of business arrangement. And this is a huge trap a lot of students fall into. You see people sharing profits, and you think, aha, partnership. But hold on. The law calls it prima facie evidence. That just means it looks like a partnership on the surface, but it's not the final conclusive proof. So what is the conclusive proof? What's the golden rule for any tricky case study you get? It's this, right here. The true test of a partnership is always, always mutual agency.
So what does that actually mean? Well, it means every single partner wears 2 hats. They are a principal, which means they are bound by the actions of their other partners, and at the same time, they are an agent, which means they have the power to bind all the other partners by their own actions. This two-way street, this idea that the act of one binds all, is the legal glue of a partnership. Okay, to really lock this knowledge in, you have to know how a partnership differs from other business forms. Examiners love to ask comparison questions, so this part is absolute gold for your prep. Let's start with the big one. Partnership versus a company. The 2 massive differences to focus on are legal status and liability. A partnership is not a separate legal person. The partners and the business are one, and that means unlimited liability. A company, however, is a separate legal entity, which acts as a shield, giving its members limited liability. That's a game-changing difference. Now, this table is your perfect quick revision tool. Just look at the creation row. A partnership is born from an agreement, a contract. A Hindu undivided family, or HUF on the other hand, is created by status, basically by birth. That single fact changes everything that follows, from who's in charge to what happens when someone dies. All right, last major section. Let's meet the cast of characters, the different types of partners. For your exam, it's not enough to know their names. You have to understand their liability. So here are the main players. You have your active partner who's involved day-to-day. The key thing here, they must give public notice when they retire to end their liability. The opposite is the sleeping partner who isn't active. They're still fully liable but don't need to give that notice. Then you have a nominal partner who just lends their name for credibility. They have no real interest, but that name makes them liable to outsiders. Okay, but now for a really critical one, and a huge favorite for case study questions. It's the idea of a partner by holding out, also known as estoppel. This is where you can be held liable even if you aren't really a partner at all. Let's fan a picture with a classic example. A partner X introduces his manager A as his partner to a supplier Z. Now, A isn't a partner, but he hears this and says nothing. He just stays silent. Z, believing A is a partner, goes ahead and gives credit to the firm. So, the firm defaults on the payment. The question is A, the manager who just stood there quietly, now on the hook for that debt to Z? And the answer is a clear and definite yes. A is considered a partner by holding out. He is estopped, a legal term meaning he stopped from denying it, because his silence led Z to act. In the eyes of the law, his silence was a form of agreement, and he's just as liable as a real partner.
So let's wrap this up. When you're in that exam hall facing a tricky case study, what is the one single takeaway from this whole explainer? It's this. Don't get fooled by profit sharing. The conclusive test, the cardinal principle, the thing that will always give you the right answer is mutual agency. Get that and you're well on your way.